Meet Giannis. Giannis is a 5-year-old warm-blood gelding owned by a client of Manolo's. Giannis is a gawky youngster, and working with him requires patience and understanding. Giannis is with Manolo to learn how to canter. His early training didn't involve much canter, and now that he has some training miles under him, he really needs to learn to canter correctly. And because he is a giant, the canter isn't easy for him. Giannis is a challenging horse. He is smart, very sensitive, and lacks confidence, but he is also quick to react. So when he is misbehaving, as youngsters tend to do, you can't just correct him or tell him off. He is easily frightened or annoyed. So getting the best from Giannis requires me to be clear, have good timing, and be very, very patient. And when I do get it right, Giannis looks like $1,000,000. It's quite a privilege that Manolo has allowed me the opportunity to work with Giannis. It gives me a chance to learn about a different horse. As I mentioned earlier, Giannis is quick to react, so he's easily annoyed, and being young, he tells you his opinion. It's my job to ask him to work in a way that doesn't make him react negatively. When I first start lunging, he is usually testy with me, but as we work, we get better and better. Currently, my goal is to get Giannis into a good rhythm with his head and neck low and out. If he bobbles too high or low, I adjust the lunge line or the whip or my position to see how that will affect him. I try little changes until I get him back to where I want him. Just as with Levi, getting smooth transitions is important. Young horses need slow transitions, not abrupt ones. I try to keep things light and variable, not doing any one circle or exercise for too long. Giannis hasn't been in training long enough for him to have developed a work ethic, so I have to keep it interesting for him. Also, because he is so unsure and easily frightened, I give him plenty of walk breaks and go out and pat him to reassure him that he is doing well. Leading skills are always important. Even though Giannis leads well enough, it's never a bad thing to integrate something different into a day of lunging. This also teaches him to keep focused on me, reading what my body is telling him. Each horse is unique. Learning how to lunge one horse correctly is challenge enough, but it's being able to apply those skills to multiple horses with all sorts of problems and attitudes that make great trainers great. The best thing you can do to improve your skills is work with multiple horses. Every time I think I have a handle on how to do something, another horse comes along and gives me a whole new challenge. Each time I lunge Giannis, I am better, more coordinated, and more focused. That's true with most horses. Recently, I have been teaching a friend how to dance West Coast swing. I am learning to lead at the same time. As we dance more and more, I notice that when I lose my focus, my friend falls apart a bit. If I am not totally focused on leading her and giving her support, she doesn't know enough to hold the dance on her own. The same is true with young horses. They don't know enough to be able to hold themselves through these exercises on their own. We have to stay very focused and support them through their learning. This means I have to be 100% focused on Giannis, following every step. He will need different things depending on where he is in the arena. Sometimes he has a tendency to drift out when crossing the arena, so I need to give him more guidance as he crosses. Whereas when he is traveling along the rail, I don't need to guide him as much, and in fact, my attempt to support him could interfere with him traveling straight. Giannis's canter is a bear. His long legs are hard to coordinate. The canter is a very challenging gait to teach, and Manolo works Giannis very specifically on it. I don't do too much with it, just give him a little canter here and there for practice. When Giannis comes in close, he gravitates towards me like a magnet. I'm still working on gracefully getting him unstuck from me each time I get close to him. I recently wrote an article about the lessons I learned from gentling Aries. I will be sure to share it with you once it is published. I went back through my time with Aries and what I learned from gentling him, and how those lessons applied to all horses. Aries taught me to reward the thought. There are many tiny steps that occur for a horse before they actually take a step. It's very important to encourage a young horse down the path you want them to go on by rewarding each tiny choice they make in that direction. For Giannis, if he gets a couple of nice trot steps with his head and neck low and out, body loose and relaxed, I give him a walk and a pat. Good boy! That is a step towards being able to keep those postures around the entire circle. Giannis has taught me the importance of affection. Even though he can be snarky and cranky with me, he is only doing it because he is unsure and defensive. When I pat him, I can see him relax and enjoy it, and he feels better. So even if a horse is a bit tough to teach, a little pat goes a long way.